I've heard two channels now on YouTube that have gone against my ideas with Cornerstone and margin investing. And I want to dispel the myth that I heard recently on one channel that you all may know. I'm not going to say the name, but he just made a video saying that he can't believe why I invest in Cornerstone when the stock drops 95% over time, blah, 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 blah. So he says, I'm going to give you a triple dividend approach here instead of using Cornerstone. Well, how about this? I'm going to give you 5 ways to make extra dividends on Cornerstone. Okay, he has a triple dividend system, which isn't even triple dividends. It's stocks with low dividends with options, selling calls, selling puts. So that's the triple system for his, basically the wheel. Whereas I have 5 ways for you to get income, and it's a much safer approach in my opinion. So we earn over $200,000 per year in dividends at this channel. And my performance and value shows that I'm beating the market. We're up 9.59%, whereas the S&P is up 7.89. We're beating all indexes. We're beating the NASDAQ, we're beating the Dow, we're beating the Russell. So clearly, again, this strategy with Cornerstone works, okay? And it helps me live the FIRE lifestyle. If you want to live the FIRE lifestyle, which is financially independent, retire early, email me for my e-guides at aikentodd48@gmail.com. So as we all know at this channel, I use some margin to get ahead. Yes, I have $260,000 in margin debt, but for every $1 you put in your account, you get $4 of purchasing power. So I'm just using a fraction of this purchasing power to get ahead. And also my dividends pay back my margin debt in around 1 year. So it's not really a risky strategy to use margin and dividends in my opinion, because the margin doesn't show up on a credit check to banks. It's low interest debt. And again, my dividends pay back my margin debt in around 1 year. And the low interest, I'm serious about that. I get charged around 6% interest for my margin debt because I negotiated it down twice. When you buy my e-guides, you get free access to the Discord chat room for life and my phone number, so I can help walk you through the negotiations in your account as well. Buying dividend paying names on margin is not really a risky strategy, because if you use a small amount of margin, how can this actually hurt you? Okay, especially when it's low interest debt, it doesn't show up on a credit check, and also I can click sell at any time and this margin debt is gone. But why would I do that when I'm up 9% for the year? Okay, again, this strategy is clearly working with Cornerstone. I have 400,000 of my dollars parked in Cornerstone. And yes, it's a 4-star fund, as you see here on its website, 4-star. So clearly that guy's channel must be wrong. There's been another channel. He's more of a Canadian investor. He talks about Cornerstone all the time too, and kind of trashes it. Even though he still owns it, he doesn't believe in owning both, but you have to have both if you don't want to increase your maintenance requirement. And he doesn't get the special drip for Cornerstone. So I think that's why he's reluctant to stay in Cornerstone the way that I'm in it, the guy from Canada, because in Canada, you don't get the special drip advantage for Cornerstone. But here, you get the special drip in America and in certain countries around the world. And that's going to be the first point to this video, okay? The first way to get extra dividends on top of your Cornerstone dividends is with the special drip. Because as you know, it has a 21% dividend that it sets every year. And then it drips that dividend down at the NAV. So if the market price is up here, then it's dripping the dividends down here, okay, down here at these lows. So that's how you really get ahead in Cornerstone and increase your income. That's the first way, okay? The second way with Cornerstone is the rights offerings. This is something that no other channel seems to mention. They tell me about the charts. They always like to complain about the chart to say, why would you invest in this fund when you look at it over the last 10 years, it's gone nowhere and it's lost 95% of its value. That's what this other channel said yesterday. This channel, again, I don't know where he's from or who he is. He claims to have millions of dollars, and he covered Cornerstone, and he uses, I guess, a wheel strategy to get his income. But you can't live freely off of options, okay? Banks don't take options as qualifying income for loans. They take dividends for qualifying income for loans. So they only take pay stubs from a job or your dividends. They don't take trading gains, and they don't take options gains. I also sell options at this channel. Okay, I make about 50 to 60,000 per year in premiums, as you can see here, but I don't even tout this strategy much. This is just a strategy to lower my margin. Okay, this is not even something that I use to really get ahead, although you can get extra performance from these options on a given day, and that's how we got 8,000 in days gains today. By the way, we're beating the market today. We're up 1%, whereas if you look above, the S&P is up 0.89. So clearly Cornerstone works, and you just need to understand this fund better. You have to time it around its rights offerings, and that's what my volume 4 e-guide's all about. That's the second point I wanted to share with you. So first, you get the extra income from the special drip at the NAV, okay? It takes the 21% dividend and then drips it down here at the bottom so that you get extra days gains per month, okay? So every month it's free money. You can get 20 to 30% premiums extra with this special drip per month, okay, just for dripping this stock, okay? No other fund drips its dividends down at the NAV that's tied to the indexes. I receive so much hate on this fund, Cornerstone, okay? Again, they look at the chart over the last 10 years. They say, what's happening with this stock? Why would you be in this fund? Well, many closed-end funds have rights offerings, and you have to time them around their highs and lows. As you can see, there's a channel here with Cornerstone over the last 10 years, and it's a tradable channel. So you have lows of 6 and highs of 14. That's over 100% gain that you can get, okay? Even when you pick it up here at 7 or 8 like I did after Corona, it still went to 14. So I got 100% gain in Cornerstone, and you can get the special drip, which I didn't even have on that year, and I still outperformed because of the capital gains. And I was getting the 21% dividend that was indexed, so I was participating in the market when the market was up. So when the market is up on any given up day, let's say it's up 1%, I'm participating with it. I'm up 1% as well. Whereas if you go to some real estate funds, you can go look at their performance, and they're not up nearly the amount that the market's up on a given day usually, and they're an underweighted part of the indexes. Real estate is only 3% of the S&P or so. So this is why I don't keep my money in real estate or energy funds, because they're not the indexes. Cornerstone is the index, but you can't go to JEPI, you can't go to Schwab D, because they don't have high enough dividends. You need a big enough dividend to make it worth your while and collect qualifying income. Plus, if the S&P has a down year, you can't expect the S&P to pay you, but Cornerstone keeps paying you, and it's dripping that dividend down at the NAV. So I was dollar cost averaging all through 2022. I was owning it here maybe, but then the drip would be put down here. So I kept dollar cost averaging in Cornerstone and lowering my cost position. And then when it has its rallies every year, which this brings you to my third point, it's premiums, which I kind of alluded to earlier. When it gives you its 20 to 30% premiums on average per year, that's how you really increase your performance. So first, I've laid out to you the special drip. I've also laid out to you the rights offering and how you have to play that properly, which is in my Volume 4 e-guide. And then I've also explained to you that they have high premiums that they average each year at Cornerstone. There's a 4-star fund for a reason, okay? It has high premiums. It doesn't cut its dividend during the year. Yes, it resets its dividend as a function of the NAV every year. Some years it raises, some years it lowers it, but it doesn't cut the dividend during the year, and that also helps with its high ratings, in my opinion. So those are the 3 ways so far that we're going to get extra income out of Cornerstone. The 4th way to get more income out of Cornerstone is with the 21% dividend. No other fund has that high of a dividend that's tracked to the indexes, okay? 5th, okay, Cornerstone allows you to buy a lot of it on margin, and this is how I really get ahead, okay? If you look at the margin maintenance requirement for Cornerstone, it's 30% maintenance. So I can put 400 grand of my account in Cornerstone, and it barely takes up any of my available withdrawal because it's low maintenance. If you need help understanding maintenance, that's in my Volume 3 e-guide. Maintenance is the whole secret to what I do at this channel, and clearly the other guy who made his video doesn't understand maintenance. If he did understand maintenance, he would understand margin, and then he would try to get more income off of margin rather than with options, because when you sell options, you have to tie up a lot of your equity to get ahead. I sell leap options so that I don't have to actually sell a whole bunch to make a lot of money. Every option I sell here is $1,000, $1,000, $1,200. So I don't just sell options to get, $200 at a time, but then I have to sell many of those options to then get the $1,000, because that sucks up all of your equity. I just sell one option for the year, and I sell them on the indexes and important asset classes like Bitcoin. And this way I keep getting upside exposure. See, I get paid in this price paid column, $1,000. But if you see my mouse and you scroll it over here, I also get days gains potential. So I can take either one, price paid or days gains. So I sell options, yes, but I don't make this the integral part of my strategy to get ahead of this channel, because again, banks don't accept options for qualifying income. Plus you have to time with options, and some days you could be wrong or right with options. Not really with the indexes, because I sell options on the indexes. So eventually you will always be right with indexed options. But with Cornerstone, it is the index, and it's really low maintenance. So that's why I can have 400 grand again of my money parked here and generate a high level of return, because it gives you the 21% dividend. It drips it down at the NAV for free money every month. You get 20 to 30% premiums per year average in this fund. I've seen 50% premiums in this fund. Then you also have the rights offering, which helps you level up your account further. The rights offering is really the whole key to Cornerstone. When you buy my e-guide, you get free access to the Discord chat room for life, where we alert you of the Cornerstone rights offering announcement. Here it is down here, the Cornerstone channel. We have a couple of channels dedicated to Cornerstone, where we have almost 1,000 members here pursuing the FIRE lifestyle and exchanging ideas daily on Cornerstone and other funds. As you can see here, we have many other channels here. We have a Yield Max channel, Defiance, Bitcoin, you name it. We have everything you could think of at this channel to live the FIRE lifestyle, but most importantly, we have the Cornerstone rights offering announcement. We even have an RSS feed in Discord hooked up to give us the announcement, even if we're not watching it. So we're all on top of this rights offering announcement in Discord, because after all, you get the 30% premiums in Cornerstone, let's say, plus the 20% dividend, plus the special drip. Well, you want to take that 50% gain that you could potentially have there and pocket that, sell at the highs, and then reload at the lows after the rights offering announcement. So margin is the only way that I know of to get ahead. You have to have loans to get ahead. How else can you use loans? And credit cards are too high of interest rates. I don't want to take out a HELOC on my house yet. Not till I get enough equity in my account to really live freely. So for me, I need loans to get ahead, low interest loans, and that's margin. And what do I want to use with margin? Okay, I want to use a sideways vehicle like a Cornerstone. Okay, it goes sideways, and to me, that's the best part about it. Everyone wants to say, well, why be in this fund when it falls over the last 10 years and it just kind of goes sideways to down? Well, that's the perfect vehicle for me, because I want sideways volatility. I don't want up and down all over the place. I want sideways. I want slow and steady, and I want this link to the indexes. And my mentor, Jay Hatfield, who owns PFFA and runs his own fund, he's the one who taught me about using leverage with sideways funds. And that's what I'm doing with Cornerstone. Look, it just goes sideways, but it's low maintenance. And if you time these channels properly, you can actually get 50% gains within these channels as they move sideways. So anyone who's saying that Cornerstone is a bad fund or it's crazy because it goes sideways and all this kind of stuff, they're just uneducated and misinformed about Cornerstone. And then if they think that I'm using margin on top of this, that makes my strategy even more risky. Well, they're even more uninformed, because the margin actually just gives me more dividends so that I can pay back my margin faster. If we're going sideways, I'm getting my dividends and I'm getting my margin paid down automatically without any interruptions. But also on a given up day, we're outperforming. Okay, we're at 1%. And on down days, we usually outperform as well, even with margin. We outperformed in 2022, even during that bear market, even with margin. I outperformed because my dividends just keep paying back my margin debt, and I'm getting growth through dividends, not growth through the stock market. So it doesn't really matter how you play it. As long as your dividends are paying back your margin and you're staying disciplined and not spending out of your account, and you save your money like I do to get ahead, well, then it's really hard to lose. Okay, you just have to watch how much margin you use. You have to watch your equity levels. And again, that's in my volume 3 e-guide. I also keep puts on, which I don't really need because my maintenance is so low in these funds, and I'm so conservative with these index funds that they could usually only fall by 20 or 30% in a given down year. But I also have put options on, which is in my volume 3 e-guide if you need help understanding how I insure my portfolio. Again, my dividends pay back my debt in around 1 year, so my leverage is gone. I don't need to have any option insurance on. I just like to keep the option on in case we have a crash. I don't really lose much. If I buy $100 or $200 worth of an option each month, I only lose that much in a given month, but I have the potential to make a real killing if the market were to crash. So I'm not worried about market crashes. My available withdrawal is so high, I can withstand over 20% corrections and withdraw freely out of my account. Okay, look at my account, 568 plus the debt, let's just call it 800,000. 800,000, 10% down is 80. On a 20% down move, that's 160. Well, I'm at 184, so I wouldn't even be in a margin call in a down 20% market, and then I could still withdraw out of my account even in margin. Yes, you can live out of your margin even in debt. How did Elon Musk buy Twitter? He bought it on margin. So I can just have this margin debt on. It's low interest. I can just keep swiping my E-Trade credit card, going wherever I want in this world. All of my bills are automated and paid out of this brokerage account. Okay, it all comes out of my dividends, and that pays back my margin. So those are the 5 ways to get extra dividends out of Cornerstone. Okay, first you have to learn how to play Cornerstone properly. That's in my Volume 4 e-guide. Then you have to understand how to use margin to get more income off of Cornerstone, which that's maintenance. That's the secret of maintenance and how to preserve your equity. That's in my Volume 3 e-guide. And then of course you have the premiums that they average. You have the 21% dividend that it has every year that it sets as a function of its NAV every year. You have the special drip, you have the rights offering, and that's how you really level up your account. So if you want to live free from a 9 to 5, email me for my e-guides at akintod48@gmail.com. If you want to follow my portfolio, just click the join button on my wall, or I'll link it in the description below. And if you like the video, click like or subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.